dancing leaves floating downstream. This is how creation sings. Here to be what we're meant to be. If one can see, we all can see. Forming our reality. This is how creation sings. This is how creation sings.
Good morning. Welcome to Unity of the Valley Spiritual Center. We are part of Unity Worldwide Ministries, and you can find us here locally at 350 North Orchard Avenue in Vacaville, California. If you are a first-time viewer or returning to our broadcast, welcome home. So glad that you're joining us today. On this next slide, you'll be able to click on it on our website at unityvacaville.org. When you do, you'll be able to update your information for our center or find out information about the many wonderful programs that Unity of the Valley Spiritual Center has to offer. Unity of the Valley Spiritual Center is a vibrant, warm, loving spiritual community. We accept everyone, no exceptions. Your soul is truly welcome here. Let's begin today's service with an opening prayer from Reverend Eric Page from the island of Hawaii.
Good morning, everyone. It is so good to be with you. Let us begin with prayer. So right now we pause and we open to the spirit of wonder. And as we breathe, we are unified with the divine. Right here, right now, we connect our hearts and minds to the love and light of God. This morning, we affirm that each person participating is a sacred expression of the divine. In this moment, we visualize the abundant good in our world, our community, our neighbors, our family, and friends. For each of us is gifted with a sense of purpose. Each of us can embrace each other. Each of us can do our part to protect our community. Each of us can love. And so we envision new insights into our own character, feelings, motives, and desires. We open to a new awareness and to the freedom that comes with renewal of mind and body. With gratitude, we celebrate the knowing that this is done. And we release and trust in this monumental good. And so it is. Amen.
Good morning. My name is Gary Eisenberg, and it is my privilege and pleasure to be your service assistant today. As we begin our service, I would like you to look at the people that you may be sitting next to. If you are viewing this alone, I would like you to envision a dear one in your life that you would like to bless at this time. I would also like you to keep in mind as we bless everyone who is joining us as we watch this service today. And finally, I would like to ask you to envision and hold in your heart all the people of our community, all the people of our state, all the people of our nation, and all the people on our planet as we bless them all by saying together, "You are a beautiful child of God, perfect in every way. You are loved unconditionally just the way you are." And if it is true for our loved ones and everyone on the planet, it must be true for ourselves as well. And so, as you look into that mirror this morning, I want you to gaze deeply into your eyes, and I would like you to proclaim with joy, "I am a beautiful child of God, perfect in every way. I am loved unconditionally, just the way I am." And speaking of beautiful people, we must be talking about our prayer chaplains who are standing by at unityvv at pacbell.net to pray with you. If you or a loved one are going through a challenge, they would love to pray with you. They would love to chat with you if you would also like to share a celebration. Again, prayer chaplains are standing by, unityvv at pacbell.net, ready to pray with you. Prayer chaplains, I know you are watching, and you truly bless us with your presence. Let us start with our community announcements. Our first announcement has to do with the Valley Book Club discussing See No Stranger, a memoir and manifesto of revolutionary love by Valerie Kaur. I think that's how you say her last name. But no matter what her last name is pronounced like, it is a fantastic book. The Valley Book Club is enjoying discussing it. Saturday, April 24th, they will be discussing it again for their second time. It will be from 10:30 to 12 o'clock. And please email our center at unityvv at pacbell.net to register for this great book and interesting discussion. Our next announcement has to do with a class being taught by Reverend Dia Adams called Prosperous Living. It will be Tuesdays, 3 o'clock till 4:45, beginning April 20th for 6 weeks. Please watch for more information. The books that will be discussed are The Abundance Book by John Randolph Price and Prosperity's 10 Commandments by Georgina Tree West. Again, to register, unityvv at pacbell.net. And our Spiritual Classics Reading Room continues, and that is a drop-in Zoom session where you can join anytime you want if you would like to join the discussion of the current book, Christian Healing, by our co-founder, Charles Fillmore. Spiritual Classic Reading Room meets the first, second, and third Thursdays of every month at 1 o'clock via Zoom. Again, to sign up for this interesting discussion, unityvv at pacbell.net. And our last announcement is that we are holding another Unity Virtual Cafe on Sunday, April 25th at 11:45 to 1 o'clock. Come join your Unity of the Valley community for conversation, laughter, insights, and love. As always, please email unityvv at pacbell.net to get your Zoom log-on information, and hope to see you there. Thank you so much for joining us today. You truly are a beloved part of our community. And whether you choose to be part of our online community and watch the service at home, or you choose to come back when our center reopens, I would like us all to remember that we are one holy family and you are all beloved members. Thank you for your generous donation to our center that keeps our center vibrant, alive, and well. Now, as we center into today's service, let us pause, take a breath, and together say the statement of faith. Together, there is only one presence and one power in the universe and in my life, God the good. And so it is. Amen.
Is a broadcasting machine. Everything you're thinking flows out in a stream. Thoughts can trap or set you free, so think of what you wanna be. Human mind is a broadcasting machine. The human mind will give you your dream. Be in love each day and follow your dream. What you think is what you get. Your mind goes soaring off like a jet. The human mind can give you your dream. Gain the strength to rise above distraction by sipping at the nectar of your heart. Silently you grow into action, 'cause your mind makes true the things inside your heart. That you choose to live in peace and happiness, a manifest serenity. Think that's what you wanna be. Only the good, like a wave, will come on in. The human mind is a broadcasting machine. The human mind is a broadcasting machine. The human mind will give you your dream. Give you your dream. Broadcasting machine. Give you your dream. Give you your dream. Give you your dream.
please join me in welcoming Reverend Eric Page. Reverend Eric delights in sharing stories of spiritual transformations. As an ordained Unity minister, he speaks and teaches about spiritual principles, scriptural studies, and religious history. His background with community organizations includes work in administrative, archival, educational, and clergy positions. He has served as temporary minister at Unity of Kona, Kalua Kona, Hawaii, and spoken and taught at many other churches in the United States. Reverend Eric preserves historic documents and photographs of Hawaii Island as archivist at the Lyman Museum and Mission House, Hilo, Hawaii. For more than a decade, he worked as archivist at Unity Worldwide headquarters in Unity Village, Missouri, preserving documents of the International Unity Religious Movement. He currently lives with his husband, Keith, and their sociable Scottish Terrier, Max, in the Hamakua district. To learn more, please go to Reverend Eric's webpage at ericpage.com.
I knelt on the sidewalk and took a picture of the curb. A friend had recommended I take a photography class, and the first class dealt with color, using thoughtful observation, noticing our flash of perception. Future classes focus on pattern, texture, light. The approach incorporates contemplation. The idea is to avoid photographing objects themselves. It's not documentary photography. In a weekend with intermittent rain, I first chose to take photos around the house and in the yard. And I was drawn to the deep golden orange of a mica lamp, and I snapped a picture. Another day, I stopped in our small town and I noticed color in places I'd not spotted before. Side of a two-toned green building, a blue lamp outside the antique store, and the yellow and red curb. I felt concerned about people watching me. I struggled with the right angle and whether the light was right. And then I realized I was thinking about it instead of contemplating, instead of living into the experience. And most of my images are close-ups. Most of them contain some element or energy that I didn't realize fully. As suggested, I'm now seeing the world in a new way. I do want to be more aware, don't you? Most of us enter adulthood with a cluster of perceptions, including inaccurate thoughts and beliefs about the world and about our own shortcomings. But at any time, we can ask ourselves, how do I embrace my own growth? In transformational work, we adopt new attitudes as we link with the creative consciousness that is everywhere present. And we'll explore some related aspects to renewing our mind: freedom, self-awareness, and contemplation. Let us affirm this morning, I am renewed in mind and body. I am free to create my experience of life. I am renewed in mind and body. I am free to create my experience of life. Neighbors on Wabash Avenue watched as a distressed woman transformed. Her husband, Charles, had advised they move to Kansas City to get in on the real estate boom. Myrtle Fillmore struggled with illness, managing a household with 2 young boys. As a mother, she benefited from the assistance of her mother-in-law. She also kept a cabinet full of elixirs to help. Myrtle described, I was very sick. I had all the ills of mind and body that I could bear, and medicines and doctors ceased to give me relief, and I was in despair. In 1886, friends urged her to attend an evening event by visiting lecturer Eugene B. Weeks, and she and Charles went. She left that talk inspired with a stronger faith in God and a new way to pray. And she set aside the idea that she was destined to be sick. She developed her own spiritual practices, spending more time in prayer and meditation with the divine force. And she recalled, it flashed upon me that I might talk to the life in every part of my body and have it do just what I wanted. And I began to teach my body and got marvelous results. I went to the life centers in my body, spoke words of truth to them, words of strength and power. And by 1888, Myrtle's renewal was apparent. Neighbors noticed the delightful change and asked her for help. As her recognition spread, her friends started praying too. This is the origin story of unity, told so many times in so many different ways. From despair and ill health, Myrtle claims a new vision of wholeness, and her outlook is restored. Her husband Charles started as a skeptic, doubting that her healing would even last. He questioned the links between religion and science. He experimented with meditation and observed his dreams. And finally, he joined her as they invited their neighbors to join in affirmative prayer. You see, the Fillmores demonstrated their spiritual freedom with no connection to a church organization. They vigorously explored spirituality. In April 1889, the couple gave birth to a magazine named Modern Thought. And in July of that year, 44-year-old Myrtle gave birth to her son, John Royal. The next year, they invited the public to join in prayer with the Society for Silent Health. And in 1891, they named their cause Unity. You know, Paul of Tarsus also experienced a dramatic transformation, very dramatic, from a persecutor to a promoter of the Christ believers, whom we call Christians. While he started many spiritual communities, Paul did not start the church in Rome. He never visited the church in Rome. And so his letter to that community in the city shared his own understanding of the gospel. It also introduced himself to the group, maybe with the hope of one day visiting. In Romans 12:2, we read, "Do not be conformed to the world, but be transformed by the renewing of your minds, so that you may discern what is the will of God, what is good and acceptable and perfect." And the call is not to match some physical or cultural expectation, but to express spiritual mind amid our human lives. The idea is to refresh our minds. And it suggests beginning again, restoring or replenishing. It implies a return to a divine pattern, the one formed before you were born, and the one exemplified by Jesus, the Christ. You and I can always begin again. We can change our minds. And when we revive our minds, we live out the spiritual principle of freedom. Principles are fundamental or primary laws. We view principles as certainties, spiritual truths that do not change. And with a new consciousness, we may discern what is the highest will for our lives. And we're aware that our autonomy is a birthright of every individual. On some level, we're free to choose and create our experience of life. And of course, we also live interdependently with others so that we're also conscious of the freedom of others. Freedom without that balance is just egotism. It's why we stay in our lane on the road. It's why we take turns in line and offer help and prayer to others. We are interconnected and we can experience freedom. The pandemic compelled many of us to adapt and make choices. I know people who took this time to begin new projects or take up new hobbies. I know people who stayed home, friends who've even moved to another country. I know others who've struggled with boredom and depression. Maybe you still feel stuck at times like nothing will change. I will be honest that I've experienced a variety of emotions during this year. I'd like to share another story about a dramatic change. Every Sunday, about 4,000 people gathered at Christ Universal Temple to be taught how to think instead of what to think. Reverend Johnny Coleman impacted millions of lives. But in 1952, her life looked dire. She returned home from the doctor and told her mother about a diagnosis. And though not particularly religious, she listened as her mother talked about divine wholeness and offered her a little magazine called Daily Word. Intrigued, Coleman went to Unity Village, Missouri to learn more, and teachers welcomed her to classes. But in the early 1950s, campus housing was only for white students. The Kansas City area as a whole remained largely segregated. African American students stayed 12 miles away from the city. Coleman reached a breaking point in that first few days of classes. She threatened to quit if on campus housing wasn't provided, and her classmates sided with her and threatened to leave as well. Pressured officials designated one cottage for Black students to share. She had succeeded. And when she finished with classes as an ordained Unity minister, she returned to Chicago and started Christ Universal Temple at her dining room table. It grew from 35 members into a mega ministry with more than 15 affiliated communities in North America and the Caribbean. You see, Coleman was self-aware. She recognized that unity concept, a universal concept, that she was a creation of the likeness of God, and she realized her wholeness and her determination despite the challenge of racism. She knew what she felt. She knew that what she could achieve, and in the 1950s, unity began to embrace the path of human rights and social justice. In the 1970s, Coleman created her own organization, and in time, Unity too matured. Today, Unity is known for its embrace of diversity. It is the intent of Unity organizations to be inclusive and non-discriminatory. Self-awareness is the practice of performing or doing something habitually or often, usually. Adopting a routine of self-awareness can help us explore our minds, transform, revive our true essence. It's when we're conscious of our motivations, internal dialogue, and hidden beliefs. It's a willingness to observe and take responsibility for one's internal and external choices. We might say that self-awareness is the foundation of conscious choice. Robert Brummett, the author of Living Originally, suggests awareness, acceptance, trust, and appreciation are all attitudes that ripen us for transformation. This is especially so when we can continue to maintain these qualities of mind and heart during times of adversity. So whatever the situation, we're renewed when we utilize the mindsets of understanding, acknowledgement, hope, and gratitude. What do you and I do in moments of challenge? As Johnny Coleman did, we can open our minds and our hearts. Contemplation is a method of looking with continued attention, observing, or considering thoroughly. We also use the word to suggest something with purpose or intent. There's a Zen proverb that suggests, change how you see how you change. Other methods to self-awareness are practicing the silence or even speaking with a counselor. In contemplative photography, the goal is looking at and being aware of our own expectations. The goal's not the typical approach to photography. It's not concerned with composition or all the elements that typically come with photography. It's about releasing judgment and expectations. It's about restoring wonder, looking with new eyes at the world around us. And it's about using our intuition and opening our heart to the world. By using contemplation and the practice of self-awareness, we open to a renewal of the mind, and we welcome that principle of spiritual independence. This morning, I invite you again to affirm with me, I am renewed in mind and body. I am free to create my experience of life. I am renewed in mind and body. I am free to create my experience of life. So how can you change your condition? Do you make it a point to see the world in a fresh way? Remember, you are a sacred expression of the divine. Use the method of contemplation to lead you to self-awareness. And with that practice of awareness, you may renew your mind and experience true freedom. Begin with me. Resume what is yours to do. Restore or replenish the idea that you are made in the image of God. Aloha nui loa. Lots of love, everyone.
As we enter this time of meditation, I invite you to become still. I invite you to take your favorite meditation posture and let the music of Narayan and Janet enter your heart. Fill your heart as we now center within.
I invite you to get comfortable in your seats. And as we relax into our seats, we close our eyes and begin to consciously breathe. In our times of prayer, we connect with the divine, with a greatness within us. In the book of Ephesians 4:22 to 24, we read about setting aside our old selves to be renewed in the spirit of your minds and to clothe yourselves with the new self, created according to the likeness in true righteousness and holiness. So as we move deeper into meditation, I just invite you to allow the following words to become your words. I am a sacred expression of the divine. I am a sacred expression of the divine. And as I breathe, I relax. As a manifestation of the holy, I am created according to the likeness of God. I realize the cosmic within me. At my core, I am good. I am sacred. And I begin to let go. For long ago, Spirit began a good work in me. I inhale and exhale as I move into the quiet. I am renewed in mind and body. I am renewed in mind and body. And as I breathe in, I envision new insights into my own character, my own feelings and desires. I open to a new awareness, a renewal of my mind. At any point, I become a new creation. I envision myself claiming this freedom, helping me accomplish what is mine to do. I inhale and exhale as I move into the silence. I am a new creation. I am a new creation. As I consciously breathe in, I can look with wonder. Behold, the new has come. As I complete my meditation time, I give thanks. And as I move into this week, I try on my new self. remember that I am one with the true light. I am transformed by an inner creative energy. And I feel gratitude for this experience of the one eternal flow. And so it is. And so it is. Amen.
Ah, there you are. It is time in our service where we pause and stop and give thanks for our prosperity and our abundance. Isn't it wonderful to be in that divine flow of giving and receiving? And so we just naturally, joyfully stay together. God's love through me blesses and multiplies all that I am and have, all that I give and receive. I am grateful.
I just wanna thank you for all you bring to me. I just wanna thank you. Your love has set me free. I just wanna thank you for all you bring to me. I just wanna thank you. Your love has set me free. I just wanna thank you for all you bring to me. I just wanna thank you. Your love has set me free.
And let's stop and pause for another moment and give thanks for that abundant good that flows into our lives on a daily basis. We are so blessed with our daily gifts, aren't we? And so again, we joyfully state the inexhaustible resource of spirit is equal to every demand. There is no reality in lack. Our abundance is here and now manifest. And so it is. Amen. Please join me in the singing of our peace song.
Let there be peace on earth, and let it begin with me. Let there be peace on earth, the peace that was meant to be, with God as creator, family are we. Now we walk with each other in perfect harmony. Now peace begins with me. Yes, this is the moment now. With every step I take, let this be my joyous vow. To take each moment, live each moment, peace eternally. Now there is peace on earth, and yes, it begins with me.
Let there be peace on earth and let it begin with me. Another statement that we say together every week binds us together in unity, and that is our prayer for protection. Wherever we are, God is. So let's say it together. The light of God surrounds us. The love of God enfolds us. The power of God protects us. And the presence of God watches over us. Wherever we are, God is. We realize together we are one holy family. We celebrate our oneness and honor our diversity.
And finally, I'd like to share a closing affirmation with you. I am renewed in mind and body. I am free to create my experience of life. I am renewed in mind and body. I am free to create my experience of life. I am free to create my experience of life. Great to be with you all this morning. Namaste.
And as we close today's service, I would like to thank
Reverend Eric Page for your wonderful message and meditation today.
I would like to thank everyone here in the sanctuary this morning that helped bring this wonderful service to you. Teresa Meadows, our center manager, we couldn't do it without you. Today on audio, Roy Morris, make sure you heard every single word. And of course, you wouldn't be seeing anything without our brilliant video technician, John Working. Thanks to you all. And so I wish you the best week ever. And I would like to start by waving everybody a fond hello. So hi, everybody.
In a happy mood, feeling gratitude.
Hi.
Thank you.
Gratitude is my name. Feeling grateful is my game. Thank you. Thank you.
When I lift my head up, stop complaining.
I see everything through gratitude-colored glasses, and we're all in this great big sea of bliss. And thank you.
Thank you.
Thank you.
Thank you.
Hi there.
Hi, everybody.
Hello. Wave.
Oh, tell me about it.
Yeah, Reggie.
Say hi, everybody.
Hello, everybody.
How are you?
How you fine?
We miss you.
Miss you.
We miss you.
Miss you.
We think about you.
We about you.
We hold you in our
Want you
hearts.
in my hearts.
And we'll see you soon.
See you soon.
I'm
See you
in
soon.
a
See you
happy
soon.
mood.
Bye-bye.
Bye, guys.
Feeling
Guys.
gratitude.
Mwah.
Thank you. Thank you.
Thank you. Gratitude is my name. Feeling grateful is my game. Thank you.
Thank you.
When I lift my head up and stop complaining.
I feel everything through gratitude colored glasses, and we're all
in this
great big sea of bliss. Thank you,
well, thank you.
thank you,
You're welcome.
thank you.
In a happy mood, feeling gratitude. Thank you, thank you.
Gratitude is my name, feeling grateful is my game. Thank you, thank you.
When I lift my head up, stop complaining.
I see everything through gratitude colored glasses, and we're all
In this
great big sea of bliss.